Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Golden Falls Golden, what if, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. I'm back with the finale of What If Deku Learned Moon Breathing. I know I've been lacking in terms of My Hero Academia stuff. Like I said before, I haven't been enjoying My Hero Academia as much as I used to. I've been enjoying Shield Hero a lot, same thing with Demon Slayer. So you'll be seeing those a little bit more prevalently in my what ifs, but you still will see a Deku what if going on at one point or another. I'm not gonna just get rid of them. That's just messed up to the people that are here that watch it, but just realize that it's gonna be less than normal. I used to only do My Hero more or less, and then also Demon Slayer, but I want to expand as much as I possibly can as we go along, and I feel like that will help our growth and help the community want more variety in general. So with that all said, I'm not going to waste any more of your time, and make sure to check all the links in the description. And yeah, let's just get right back where we left off. Let's get it. Now finally, Izuku has his first training session with UA. Vlad King basically just begins to explain everything that's going to occur. He begins explaining that their training session will consist of various things depending on their original skill set, and he begins to individually pick everybody out, but gets to Izuku and explains that he doesn't know much about him, but the best course of action would be either just sparring or fighting one of the other people that are there. So that's what Izuku does, fighting with, well, obviously Tiger and even sometimes Vlad King, and learning more and more. But obviously he's already done a ton of training on his own using his sword and various other things. And this continues on for a good while, actually a couple days. But this then eventually leads to something very tragic. Something very bad would occur. On the night of about their second day, they decide to do something called a test of courage, in which Izuku is out in the forest ready to scare, you could say, some class 1A students. But this doesn't go according to plan. Actually, it goes the direct opposite. The entire forest lights ablaze, a fire begins to emerge, and blue flames begin to consume the forest, and Izuku sees something on a mountain nearby and immediately begins to climb it, trying to get up to the top. And when he arrives, he sees something incredibly terrifying. It's Koda, and well, another villain by the name of Muscular. Muscular is a giant person, and he is on the break, ready to kill a child, to kill Koda in cold blood. But Izuku immediately dashes in, blocking the attack, slicing at Muscular's leg, and he continues to fight with the giant monster. It seems this man is no human. It feels like his strength is unmatched, and Izuku is falling behind quickly. He calls out to Koda and tells him to run now, that this isn't a choice, this is a matter of survival. So he basically tells Koda to leave, and luckily Koda listens. That was smart, kid. Now he doesn't have to watch you die. Die, huh? Yeah, it's looking that way. But don't get too cocky. Not yet. Moon breathing, first form. Dark moon, evening palace. Immediately, Deku quickly draws his sword and slashes swiftly in this horizontal motion, and well, Muscular gets completely torched. It seems like Muscular gets slashed up pretty bad, and Izuku feels like he won. But that's not the case. Muscular stands up and smirks. Ooh, some paper cuts. Now, my turn. Muscular begins to grow in size, and he begins to look more like a monster itself. His muscles begin to bulge out, and it seems like, well, the muscles that he has begin to arise from outside or from inside to the outside of his body. And Muscular begins to charge at Izuku, and Izuku cannot dodge. He tries to use his concentration breathing and other forms to dodge, but it's like impossible. The man is too fast and Izuku can't keep up. Immediately, Muscular grabs him and pile drives him into the wall, and Izuku is almost out for the count. He just sees a blur of his vision. He begins to fade in and out of consciousness, and Izuku sees that there's only one chance, one more opening, and when Muscular brings him in close to taunt Izuku, Izuku strikes. "You know, kid, it's really the end, but it's sad to see you go. But I'll make sure to kill that other kid and send him to hell with you." As Muscular says this, Izuku strikes him in the neck with his sword and digs it deeper and deeper, refusing to let his sword go with his grip quirk. And he grabs Muscular's neck and makes sure that Muscular cannot move. The only way he'd move is that he would have to pull Izuku's arm off his body. Izuku's making sure Muscular cannot go anywhere, that he will fall right now. Izuku pushes his sword deeper into his neck, knowing that he might have to kill this man to make sure that he doesn't do any more harm. And that's exactly what happens. But before he could finish, Muscular grabs Izuku's head and slams it into his knee, more or less giving Izuku insane brain trauma, and his brain begins to give out on him. Izuku and Muscular are down for the count, as Izuku is still holding the sword that is deep in Muscular's neck. And 30 minutes pass, and Aizawa and Vlad King find Izuku there, out cold, or at least that's what they thought. They walk over to him to find out that the boy isn't breathing. They have no idea how long he hasn't been breathing, and they run him out. They look at the dead body of Muscular and wonder what torture Izuku went through to force himself to do such a thing. And what they would find out later on is that Koda basically was the reason why Izuku pushed himself to the breaking point. Izuku believed that all the training led up to this, that his training meant that if he could save one person, his life was enough. But that's not the way Aizawa saw it. That's not the way Vlad King saw it. That's not the way anybody saw it. They didn't want Izuku to just fall like this, so they ran him to the hospital in hopes of saving his life. And, Izuku laid in that hospital bed, and he tried to come back to life, but the brain damage was there. It was unhealable. Everything in his being was gone. It was as if one knee from Muscular to the head made a frontal lobotomy and shut off multiple things in his brain and multiple passages. And it seemed like it was over for the young hero. Izuku, after weeks have passed, was put in a coffin, and they said their goodbyes. Izuku was only there for a short amount of time, but even Class 1B respected him. Someone who clawed their way all the way to the top, clawed his way all the way to the point that he knew he could be a great hero, and he was. Koda was there sitting by the coffin while they were saying their goodbyes. His mother was crying her eyes out. Izuku Midoriya was no more. The last person to know moon breathing was now dead. His old master stood there shaking his head, wishing that the boy had a stronger quirk, that this society isn't fair for people like him. Even with the powers of the ancestors, they don't compare to what is now. They don't compare to what's going on now. They all say their goodbyes. Flower after flower was put on the coffin of Izuku. But it felt so empty. Why was he gone? Was this fair? This world, it's not fair at all. But Izuku was in a new space and time, was in the afterlife, standing there, looking at somebody, looking at Kokushibo, Looking at him with his 6 eyes, Kokoshibo walks up to the boy and places his hand on his head. You did your job, kid. Thank you. I'm back. Izuku is confused at what he's talking about, saying that they're both dead. How is he back? What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. It makes sense, kid. I'm back. Izuku's body begins to shake the coffin. Izuku's body begins to transform. Eyes begin to grow out of him, one after another. One after another. Now he has 6 eyes, long hair, and he arises from the coffin. Kokoshibo is back in the world, back with a vengeance. Demons are back, and Kokoshibo is going to make sure that his legacy is cemented in this world. The heir to the throne, the demon that was once just ranked below Muzan, the king of the demons, is now on top, is now the, strongest being alive. And Kokoshibo will make sure that this will continue on. He begins to travel around Japan, slaying hero, villain, everybody alike, and even inviting some to his cause. Death after death, it didn't matter. Kokoshibo was, making sure everything went his way. He wanted nothing but to have complete control over this world now. He wanted to do more. And now that he is connected with Izuku Midoriya, a boy that is dead, now he can do exactly what he wants. Until one day he meets with somebody that is at Izuku Midoriya's grave, giving his respects. And that's the master that Izuku trained under. And he was saying his goodbyes to Izuku Midoriya, and Kokoshibo is right behind him, saying that Izuku Midoriya is dead, but he lives on within him. The master turns around and gets his head taken off, and, let's just say Kokoshibo continues his wrath, his path to glory, and his path to being the ultimate life form. He kills, murders, and destroys hero society slowly but surely. Even villains tremor in his name. Heroes alike would be terrified of the sight of him, and he began to slay everybody. All Might is not there to help, and frankly nobody else stands a chance. The world is on notice. The world is under his tyrannical rule. Death after death, the future generations of heroes now all underground with Izuku Midoriya. This is the beginning of the end, but the birth of a new world. A world that will be, overran by demons. A world that subsided because of a lack of motivation. Subsided because of a lack of perseverance. The master, the one and only moon breather now that ever existed, it's still only Kokoshibo. Izuku was just a means to an end, was just there as a vessel ready to be tapped into, ready to be taken over. Kokoshibo continues his tyrannical rule. Death after death. The hero society is torn to shreds by the blade of the moon breather. Torn to shreds until there was nothing left. Nothing but him and his loyalists. Now, he continues out through the entire world until he knows everything is his. And everything he wanted is now in his grasp. That's until a gap in the world begins to tremor, a gap begins to open. Kokushibo will not only make sure that his legacy is known in this universe, but he'll make sure that it's known in every single universe that is ahead of him. And that is a wrap for What If Deku Learned Moon Breathing. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, sub, and comment down below any suggestions for future what ifs. And I have a lot to come, ladies and gentlemen. A lot to come. A lot that I've been brainstorming and a lot that I have in the works currently as we speak. So be ready for some bangers, be ready for some amazing stories, and be ready for the expansion of the army. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope y'all have an amazing day. Later.